underway. I've been told that Take TV's actually gotten quite a bit of donations on their Indiegogo, so we may have to lower our cap on our side. But yeah, well, we're pretty excited about our own Kickstarter. Let's not forget about our friends Take TV, guys. That number you see on the out-of-game overlay is us trying to raise a couple of bucks to make sure that we can help them hit their next stretch goal on their Indiegogo campaign for Home Story Cup. Because, of course, that campaign goal means that we get to go to Kest over in Germany, and I think that'll be some pretty good times. We, of course, have invited them to come cast our event too. You know, it's always a lot of fun sharing the love between them and O Gaming. So we kind of feel like we're the three language pillars of StarCraft 2 holding it up, right? Really good people on each end as well. So, at any rate, he's down one of the series. We'll see if he can bring it back on this map. In the bottom spawn location, it's going to be the red Zerg player, Acer's Nerchio.
For top position as the blue Protoss, it's Invasion Esports Harstem.
So Harstem catching Nerchio off guard, more so than the actual attack working, is what I think caught me off guard. Nerchio, for all his BM and tactics and cheese here and there, he is one of the smartest players in StarCraft 2 in my opinion. It's really hard to say because unless you put him through like 3 rounds of StarCraft Jeopardy, you know, who could know? Shout out to those guys, by the way. But when it comes to scouting information, when it comes to reading what's going on, Nerchio has always been very good at reading the situation. So for Harstem to trick him like that, for Nerchio to have missed those small details in the early game, that's a bit surprising to me.
Well, I think what happened is that Nerchio knew what was going on. He's like, okay, you're going to 4-gate me, especially after all the 3 gateways at the front. And then it took him so long to do it that Nerchio said, oh, I scouted it, so he must just be trying to macro. Like, he must be getting all 3 gases and warping it back at home, and I've effectively dealt with the push just by scouting it. And then when it came in, he was totally surprised. So that happens. Unfortunately, Zerg can get tricked. It's the easiest race to win off of being tricked because it's reactive. You're either droning or you're making units. You don't have both, unlike the other races, and that's just, it's frustrating. That's why Protoss has a bit of a frustrating, you know, notoriety, right? But that's just sometimes the way the cookie crumbles.
Wow, I am blown away by this one. 31 people have already backed for $5 or more.
Hey!
That's crazy. I hope that we can fulfill everybody's dreams here of getting those in-game portraits. I think they can look so sweet. But okay, so for the way this could play out in Van Eye, I'm kind of, you know, we're talking a lot about in the early game. I didn't even think about it, but Nerchio didn't go for the gold. It's like the only Zerg player not to go for the gold in the last like month of casting this map, this matchup.
Yeah, that is, it's just because it's not that it's a really powerful cheese, it's just a really powerful macro. Like, people macro out of the gold base taken on Van Eye all the time, and it's just, it's almost like a case like, why not? Why don't you?
Exactly. Well, not like you need it, of course. You can still play standard without it. Just, again, between Snoot and everybody else, it's a little surprising to see anyone not do it. It's kind of like, you know, when MMA started the trend on Habitation Station. Lift the command center. Like, we never saw any Terran player not do that for the next, like, week.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, what is Harstem getting up to this game? Not a 4-gate. Nice. It looks to be just a regular 3-gate expand. Yeah.
That just seems sarcastic nice.
I know, right? Like, how nice of you. The Stalker does go out to start pressuring, you know, killing some Overlords. That's really nice, but a little dangerous. I don't know if speed's already done, if they took a oddly timed speed. The probe that was going with the Stalker was a little more, like, questionable to me, because it looks like if this happens, then they could use the 3 gateways either to expand and they get a Forge and they get a Nexus, or they can use the 3 gateways and actually use them to attack if they see an opportunity to. Like, the Zerg player is being way too greedy. But Nerchio's really not. He's getting some Lings, he's a Stalker, he's getting a Roach Warren at a very safe time. I don't think Harstem's going to do a lot if he commits to this, but he's going to try. It's going to be nothing but Stalkers. As we saw that those Lings, of course, were so slow. So he'll be able to micro around. Maybe he'll get a couple of Queens off the back of this, and maybe he'll just recall out, because the Militia Corps has enough for that, at least.
I did bring the Time Warp last time, though, so I don't know. I think Recall's a better option for this setup. But, man, Transfuses and Queens working pretty good at stopping the Stalkers before the Lings even get involved.
Yeah. So there you go. Not much done, but because the Lings are so slow, he could just leave and not even have to recall. Just walk home.
Well, we'll see if Harstem, he didn't really do a lot of damage. He did force out some Lings and stop Nerchio from going drone crazy. We oftentimes discuss that's every Zerg player's dream. Just drone without aggression and be good to go for the mid game. But even just sort of feigning pressure with these stalkers and sentries, just by forcing out Lings, inadvertently does damage that way.
Yeah. Third goes down. Not really gonna be pressured a lot. And they're slow Lings, so they did get on top of it. Not gonna cancel. And Harstem is still, he's being really bold with this. If speed is about to finish, he'd be in a lot of trouble. At the very least, he'd have to make sure to recall instantly. But it's still not being close to done. He can still micro against queens and roaches. That's exactly what he's doing. He gets to with nice force fields.
Yeah, I like you try this on the mothership core. It's like, yeah, get down here, get down here.
Behind this, Harstem is going for everything that's normal. He's not going for an all-in. He's going Link +2, some production to help out, and he's still making probes. And the third's about to finish up, but he just felt so confident sticking around from the very beginning. It's just, I don't know. Not usually allowed to do this. Usually for us to be a little more scared of being out in the field.
Well, we're getting behind the middle lines like this. Usually there's something to stop them, but...
This is bad. If he can get the third and recall back to his own third and defend, man, that would be fantastic. But
I don't know if he's got the
DPS. Yeah, the tickle monsters, so he has to recall.
Okay, I kind of like this though, because the aggression wouldn't be worth the loss back at home. Nerchio, of course, not the best place when it comes to workers. Still making more Lings. Look at it, just kind of continue the trend of attempting all-ins.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. But this one makes a lot more. The other one made sense, but it just wasn't going to work. This one might work, and it makes sense. There you go. It's going to be powerful. Already some good forces going down, though, cutting off a lot of these roaches. Great Sim City, great force field, keeping the Lings off the Nexus, too. Off the army, and Harstem deals with this pretty perfectly.
I'd say so. Good defense, good positioning, and of course there's still plenty more force fields where those first ones came from.
Oh. I feel like we've just been seeing nothing but Roach, Hydra, and a Viper, but to see a Spire, I am really happy about this.
If he can get use of it, though, right? Because the problem is, it's already going to be Blink Stalkers with +2. There's already plenty of sentries. Nerchio simply doesn't have the gas and the minerals to overwhelm, so he'll be able to get, like, what, maybe 8-10 mutas and harass, and if he can, that's good. But if he decides to take them with the attack, that's not going to work. Not this early in the game, at least.
Yeah. Well, he could just make 8 or 10 and go into Hydra, which could be, I think he's done this before. Yeah, Nerchio's had some interesting PvZ. But he also could just go Mass Muta, which I really thought was going to take its place again after the Swarm Host nerf. You know, before Swarm Hosts were figured out like they were, a lot of PvZs were ending in base trades with Mutas. It was fun, it was exciting, but it was frustrating to be the only way to play that game, and then Swarm Hosts were figured out. Now they're nerfed. Only a couple people are trying to really use them. I really thought it was going to be back to base trades, but it's been more so about Roach, Hydra, Viper winning or not winning in the new GG. But I would love to see Mass Mutas again. I think they're really fun. But first he has to deal with this attack. And unfortunately, 8 or 10 Mutas won't help. Just have to try and hold Roaches.
Well, that was a nice pick by the Stalkers. Just getting even an Overlord here and there. A couple of Lings for free is always nice. Man, I had such high hopes for the Mutas. Yeah. I had such high hopes. Actually, if anything, they'd at least be able to pick off the Warp Prism, which would have been really nice. But looks like it's going to turn a little bit base tradey, perhaps. Nerchio is going to come back home, okay, with all those Lings and Roaches. Natural base is going to be attacked here by the Warp Prism. This is actually a pretty important one he's got to keep alive. Not just because of the drones and the mining, of course, which is, well, frankly, desperate, but this is where the Spire is. This is the last building he wants to go down.
Starts making his Mutas now. It's still a dangerous time to...
but the Harstem's ready for it.
Yeah, well, that too. Harstem, he's constantly pressuring. These Mutas are going to have to be used to desperately counterattack, but only be able to kill, like, 4 or 5 probes.
This is just stupid, like, Yu-Gi-Oh moment. Like, you've triggered my trap card. Double Stargates! Ugh! But I think for Nerchio's sake, like he is early enough into this that he's only investing in a small amount. Truthfully, forcing Harstem to make a ton of Phoenix to counter possibly what is 10 Mutalisks probably works for Harstem. But at the end of the day, the question is, can he even break the Stalker count in the first place before worrying about anything else? And that's going to be a big question answered here in a moment. It's +2 weapon upgrades, so the Stalkers, they've got the damage. The Sentry is even going to benefit from this, but I don't know that Nerchio can get that full surround he needs. The positioning around this little lake is just so good. Coming from both sides is going to be really tough, and Nerchio's to say, screw it, base trade, baby. Probably his best option.
Yeah, I really don't mind that option at all. The Phoenixes are on the way, so the Mutas aren't going to be that much of a problem, and eventually they'll be able to help out by lifting units, but that's, you know, that's not going to help versus wings. So it's really both players have a decent shot here to win this base trade.
I like the SimCity from Harstem, actually. That's going to help. It's already helping quite a bit. These Lings aren't attacking anything useful. Phoenixes, however, not being controlled so well, so they do initially take some damage, but Nerchio's going to have to play that sort of catch me if you can style. New drones and a base set up here on the gold base of his opponent, so as long as those don't give themselves away by returning all the minerals.
Awkward. You know, hopefully he'll notice before anything sees it, but they are going back all the way to the natural.
Mean, it is worth noting that Harstem has no probes outside of his main. Nothing to actually build elsewhere on the map. So if this does go full on base trade styles, oh god, turn this drones around, please. Harstem, everything he has is right here. He doesn't have anything else to start building 7 pylons around the edges of the map and such.
I think it's okay. He's killed so much that recalling right now. Honestly, he probably could have recalled earlier.
Oh, this is real. Yeah, I forgot he had a recall. Just Protoss things.
Yeah. He wins with this army.
Yeah.
It's still a better army.
Yeah, the Mutas aren't going to have nearly enough to get this done. This was hallucinating Stalkers as well.
Unnecessary, but cool.
Yeah. Congratulations, Harstem. He'll take the series 2-0 over Nerchio and advance on in the brackets. These brackets, by the way, go surprisingly quick as we're getting